Hey everyone, welcome. So today we're going to tackle something super important for anyone learning to read Arabic, the vowels. And we're going to do it with a fun little quiz to clear up any confusion around those tiny but powerful marks that totally change how the script sounds. Ready? Let's jump right in. Okay, first things first. Look at this word. We've got three letters here: kaf, ta, and ba. Simple enough. But what does it say? Without any of those little helper marks, it's a mystery, isn't it? And that's pretty much the first big hurdle for every single new learner. And that is exactly why we're doing this. That one little word could be he wrote, or books, or even it was written. So how in the world are you supposed to know which one it is? Well, the answer is in those little vowel signs. Seriously, they're like the keys that unlock the whole thing. The right meaning, the right sound, everything. All right, let's get into the basics. We're going to start with the three most common, most fundamental short vowel marks. Let's do it. Okay, here's your first real question. I want you to think about that short sound, like in the word put. So in Arabic, which little sign is responsible for making that sound? Go ahead, take a second and think it over. And the answer is the dhamma. So this chart here breaks down the big three for us. You've got the fatha. That's the little dash above the letter, which gives you a short A sound. Then there's the kasra, the dash that goes below the letter for a short I sound. And of course, the one we were just looking for, the dhamma, that little comma-looking thing on top that makes the short oo sound. Easy, right? Awesome. So now we know what the signs are. Let's see what they actually do in some real words. Time for a little vocabulary test to put that new knowledge into practice. All right, next question. Which of these words means book? Now, really pay attention to the vowel marks here. The Arabic word is kitab. Hear that ki sound at the very beginning? That's your big clue. So which of these options has the little mark that gives you that I sound? You got it. It's kitab. See that kasra, that tiny line under the first letter? That's what does it. That's what gives us the ki sound we need. It's really that simple when you know what to look for. Let's do another one. What about the word mu'allim? Same deal. Just let the vowels guide you. What sound do you get from that first little symbol, that dhamma, right at the start? That's it, exactly. It means teacher. The clue was right there at the start. That dhamma gives us the oo sound, which makes the word begin with mu. See, you're already starting to pick up on the patterns. Okay, one last vocabulary question for this section. How about maktaba? Take a look at those fathas, the little dashes above the letters. Think about the sound they make. What do you think this word could be? And the answer is library. Perfect. This little table is a nice summary of what we just learned. We've got kitab for book, mu'allim for teacher, and maktaba for library. Hey, look at that. In just a couple of minutes, you're already building a solid little vocabulary. Okay, you totally nailed the basics. So I think you're ready for a bigger challenge. Let's move on and look at some of the more advanced signs, the ones that add a whole other layer of detail to the script. So, we've done short vowels, but what about long vowels? How does Arabic stretch out those sounds? This question is specifically about the long ah sound, kind of like in the word father. Which one of these combinations makes that happen? It's the fatha right before the letter aleph, and this slide lays it out perfectly. The best way to think about it is like they're little teams. A fatha teams up with an aleph to make that long ah sound. A kasra joins a ya for a long e, and a dhamma pairs with a wav to make a long u. Okay, next up we have a really special sign called a shadda. Now, this one is different. It's not a vowel at all. It does something totally unique. But first, let's just figure out where it goes. Does it sit on top of a letter or underneath it? Yep, it's that little shape that looks kind of like a tiny W, and it always goes above the letter. But here's the really important part, what it does. A shadda tells you to double the consonant it's sitting on. You just kind of lean into it, hold the sound for an extra beat. It's not making a vowel sound, it's more like an intensifier for the consonant. Okay, let's put that new info to work right away. Knowing what a shadda does now, which one of these words do you think means window? Try to listen in your head for a word with a doubled consonant sound. You got it, it's shabak. You see that little shadda sitting right on top of the ba? That's our signal. It tells us to double that ba sound. So it's not shubak, it's shabak. Perfect. Wow, okay. We've gone through short vowels, long vowels, some new words, and the shudda. So now let's zoom out a bit and look at the big picture. See how this all fits together when you're actually reading. So here's a really important idea. You're going to hear the term unvocalized a lot when you're dealing with Arabic texts. What in the world does that mean? Just take a look at the options here. The answer is B. It's when all those little vowels and signs are just missing. An unvocalized text is basically just the consonants. Believe it or not, most modern books, newspapers, websites, they're all written this way. Fluent readers just use the context of the sentence to figure out the vowels. And that is why it's so important to really master these signs when you're starting out. And this brings us right back to where we started. Remember that mystery word from the very beginning? Well, if we add 3 fathahas, 1 on each letter, it becomes kataba, which means he wrote. Just like that, the mystery is solved. You've officially cracked the code. You know, in just the last few minutes, you've really gotten a handle on the core vowels, you've learned some new words, and you've even tackled some of the more advanced signs. You've literally learned how to turn a confusing jumble of letters into a clear, understandable word. So the only question left is, now that you have the keys, what are you going to try to read first? Thanks so much for joining me for this.